Skillish moves on, and so do we, to watch the second semifinal in a winner's bracket between Skillishu and IQ. IQ are a team we haven't seen today, but they are a team well known to Gundam Evolution esport watchers. They got third place at the previous event. So yeah, Shep, anything else we particularly need to know about this team that Skillishu are going to be going up against?
I mean, just aside from the fact that they are currently one of the strongest teams that we have, not that much. You know, they did get third place, but it was a very close match between second and third, between them and Team Tekka Dynasty, which, of course, Team Tekka Dynasty is not here in the same capacity. Some of their players are here. So realistically, IQ is, I mean, if you just look at the actual stats of how teams have performed, they've got to be our favorite to at least get second.
Yeah. And honestly, again, losing to Matt did nothing wrong. I mean, we saw it firsthand today. It's almost like a universal constant. It's like, if you haven't lost to Mafty, can you really call yourself a top team? Because that just shows that you haven't gone against them.
You've done nothing wrong if you end up losing to them. And, I want to shift gears really quick because I got to point this out. We've got a few teams that we didn't get a chance to see on broadcast. And I just want to shout out a few of them because haven't get a chance to say hello to any of them. DCG, Allies, both of them new teams. But I got to especially point out there's a team named, it's one of my favorite team names that we've had so far, which is really wanted to interrupt with this. Charlie's Angels. I think it's one of the greatest names that we've had in this tournament. And I learned, so we've had teams that have come from, for example, like a lot of Team Athlete comes from Battlefield. A lot of players come from Overwatch. Some teams come from just all over the place, right? Casino comes from like arena shooters, but they come from Gunpla. They're a team of Gunpla makers that have entered this tournament. So I want to give a shout out to them because that's super sick to see that level of type of group to join in this, and I hope we see them in the future.
I do not appreciate the implication about Char's ethics and morals. He has never lied. He has never lied once in his entire life. But anyway, I think we have for this match back on target. IQ versus Skillishu. Sorry, Core. We get Colony again, and we're gonna end with Harbor City. So similar maps that you've seen today so far.
Yeah, apparently everybody listens to me and Jamerson 2 weeks ago begging for more Colony trading posts because we're seeing it a lot. It seems like Skillishu is pretty confident on the map, and it makes sense because they dominated pretty strongly. Yeah,
I would too.
Hey, just makes sense. But also we're going to see Quarry again, another map that we have been seeing a lot, but not so much today. And then at the end, another map that we're seeing a lot. It's been a ton of Harbor City. Have we had Harbor City in almost every single set today?
Yeah, I think so. I think outside of the first, because what was the first one? The map number, the first series that we saw, which was Satoris versus Portland. That actually might have had Harbor City as well. We honestly might be doing Harbor City every single one.
It's so weird. It was the most banned stage in the first events that we had in the Breakout Series, and it's ended up becoming now one of the most played stages, which is really cool. But we might not get to it this time around because we are definitely going to be going Quarry first into Colony Trading Post. And Quarry we've only seen, I think, one time today. However, it's pretty much a staple that we see every time.
Yeah, for sure. And so IQ have been waiting for a little bit. Whereas Skillishu, as we just saw, they just came out of their previous matchup. And so I'm really curious, how is that going to affect their performance? On one hand, Skillishu, like, they didn't have that much time to prepare. They didn't have that much time to sort of like shake off the energy and like really get ready. On the other hand, though, they're more warmed up potentially than IQ, who were probably able to go into maybe a couple of casual matches. They could have potentially made some custom matches amongst themselves, amongst the team itself, to at least like run around and get their mouse flicking or control, whatever they use, on point. So it'll be interesting to see how that matchup turns out. Because it's IQ's map up first. If Skillishu had their map first, I'd say that would give IQ the time to warm up and then take their map, and then we'd be 1-1 going to map 3. But with IQ's map up first, there's not a lot of time for them to sort of like get warmed up, whereas Skillishu are coming into this already hot.
I agree. It's an interesting thing to see. matches to kind of hold the I don't want to say hold the bracket up, because it was them playing. It's not like there was like somebody who was not showing up or anything, but to make the bracket a little bit longer. So we don't usually see that here, but just because of how close some of the first matches were in the bracket, we do get this unique situation. I'm excited to see it as well, and the only one who knows how well that Team IQ is going to do is going to be Team IQ. So it does look like we are going to have IQ on the left, Sarah, Samano, Fusion, Blackie, Exponent, Blue Jay. Oh, man, such a strong team. Unbelievably strong team. Chaotic, I almost missed the last name. Chaotic was probably, one of the easily one of the strongest Barbados players we've ever seen on broadcast. Every single person on that team, also an all-star player, very similar to Mafty.
Yeah, looks like the team comps that are getting locked in, and they're looking very, very similar. It's just the melee unit is different between the two, but on the attacking side, it's going to be not Burnsiders, ignore that at the top. It's going to be IQ coming in hot and heavy, ready to take forward positioning here, but the defense is going strong. A lot of damage coming out. In fact, Sarah's starting taking very, very low, but he's going in anyway. Wants to get this fight started, but taken out and is going to be knocked down. It's already the kill feed tilter with the Dom Trooper, showing IQ who is in charge.
Well, that's a pretty good start, I would say, on the side of Skill Issue. That is a straight up 6 kills to nothing, just completely shutting down that push. There was no real attempts to push through the high ground there. It was just a straight up full push behind the shield of the Sazabi, and it just didn't seem like it worked out. But this is a quick map to retry, and it looks like they're already back at it.
Now we have a couple people going to the high ground. It's going to be the Ashamar there. You can see with the upper angle. No one's coming in from the balcony itself. No one's going to be flooding down those steps. In fact, the Ashmar is already pulling away from this, but this time around the Pale Rider does find the first opening hit, and so the Sazabi and the Barbatos are going to try and follow up on top of that, but the damage again from the Dom Trooper especially is coming in huge. All that splash damage from the rockets forces IQ away, but they're going to try and re-enter on this one.
Oh, they are down a few, though, but you know what? Overall, it looks like they are going to hold. They're pretty low on health. A second push here from the side of Skill Impact could actually take them out, and it does look like a few of them are going down, but it may, in the end, just end up being a little bit of a stagger. Oh, I'm sorry, from I said the names backwards once again, but that is going to be a successful push from IQ. They are going to take that waypoint, and it looks like they're already pushing over towards the side of B.
Yeah, going to the B, the lower side, the site onto the right side. A lot of fire forces Saris away, takes a lot of damage, but he's going to be redirecting his attention towards the weaker units there on the right side, trying to keep the team still healthy and concentrated. Skill Issue, they're doing a very good job of rotating their units around to keep them sort of tied down to this choke point. Granted, does fall to Blue Jay's laser cannon, but Invictus is here, the hero of Skill Issue's previous series. The Hades was used, got a lot of work out of that. It's down though, so the firepower is not going to be quite as extreme, and he is going to drop.
About a second more of Hades, and that would have probably been at least the down right there, and then a much better position, but the lag on the recovery is really unfortunate, and that just did not work out for Invictus quite as they wanted. But A is going to be the spot to plant, and that is going to be a very, very different spot than B, which is what we've seen most of. If they have any snipers, any long-range units, this becomes one of the hardest spots to actually get the defuse on.
But so many units were taken out. I believe that was just a sneaky bomb plant where everyone was distracted onto the B site, which means that I don't know if anyone's going to be here to defend the plant. Amano is here to try and do something, but I don't see a lot of teammates surrounding him. It's all about buying time at the moment, though, because the bomb has yet to be defused just yet. Just as you said, that open area, these open angles, it's making it that's incredibly difficult for Skill Issue to clear the space, to clear the area, and to get that Mega Charge defused.
You said almost nobody there, but apparently all it took was Amano. That was incredible. Amano taking out 2 suits, evading completely that G maneuver, the Screaming Nimbus, and then staying alive and then completing the the entire explosion of the Mega Charge. That is just a Amano MVP moment. One of our MVPs for sure of the previous tournament as well. Just an incredible player, and you can see just how strong. That's a spot A where you get to see so many sick plays.
Yeah, Skill Issue, they backed away from that. They knew that the site was lost, so they wanted to rally up their defenses to control the next site and control this. Good damage, but they're falling away. Skill Issue have really good awareness of not giving up anything for free. But Saris is pushing forward, taking a little bit of damage. The shield has been dropped, but he has his G maneuver. He has his funnels at the ready. Not going to be using it, though. Very low on HP. It would basically be a waste at this point, and he turns around and sees an opposing Sazabi right in his face.
That is good recognition to not waste that right there. Oh, nice tracking on the laser. Blue Jay is going to be taking out at least one person and then getting that health back, which is going to be really, really huge as far as things go on this offense right here. But there's still so many people down for IQ, and Amano's cornered. Oh, yeah, it's probably GG. And yeah, eventually falling to a push from 3 separate people.
Good damage, but Skillisher used that corner effectively to make sure that wasn't able to isolate anyone and really get a full completion on the spray down. Chaotic's trying to charge on in. Mace is dealing some heavy damage. And it's the backup of the teammates that's really finalizing all of this. Swing, and it's a lot of hits.
Oh, yeah, it's such a great counter to any shield unit, especially the Sazabi and Chaotic. Also, on top of that, building so much of that G maneuver, it's completely full now, and that can completely control any of these sites if there's a bomb planted. I like the little air duel. Both Hashimar is getting low, but neither of them going down, so there's going to be a little bit of a retreat, a little bit of a regroup on the side of IQ, and they are pushing through the mountain choke point.
Oh man, that Hashimar has the punch at the ready, wants to use it, but takes so much damage, has to fall away, and Chaotic is trying to finish. Trying to knock them all away to get the spacing, to get the Mega Charge planted. It is going to go down. Amano here now needs to try and defend with the rest of the squad, but Killa Umbrella is swinging on in. Trans Am activated, wants to slide forward to get the melee damage in, but the slashes just aren't getting in range to hit.
This could actually be a really great spot on the side of, I mean, despite the fact that we see suits going down on the side of IQ, look at that, there's so many weak suits on the side of Skill Impact, and they just need something like exactly like that Screaming Nimbus to finish off so many of them, and everybody on IQ is running back here. Chaotic just literally holding points with that giant mace. This is going to be one final counter push here on the side of IQ to try and retake this, or I'm sorry, on the side of Skill Impact to try and retake this, but they're just getting staggered.
Blackie here, but Invictus has the Hades at the ready. He's got to activate this. He has to go for the damage. 6 seconds left. There's not a lot of time. He has to go for the action right now. Shots coming on through, but the timing is not at the ready. Timing is not available for this one. It's going to be round over. 2 points for IQ.
I mean, there were a lot of great holds, but overall, IQ just never let an opportunity go, right? Like, there was a plant there on the second bomb site that it looked like there was only like 3 or 4 of them up, but they took advantage of just the fact that there were even 3 or 4 of them up. And you can see, again, the Pale Rider continuing to be a bit of an MVP here. I mean, Amano. Yeah, for both teams always, but I always just gotta be impressed by Amano.
Yeah, I mean, it's 21k between the two, and actually Invictus has just a little bit more damage, but because the hold just wasn't that strong, IQ was able to follow up Amano's damage just that much more effectively. We're able to see the effectiveness of Amano on that unit, but we'll see how things wage now that the sides have been swapped. If there's one thing that Skillisher can lean on, it's the fact that there are only 40 seconds of extra time. So if they do tie this up, if we do go into overtime, it's not going to be like the huge remaining time numbers that we've seen from previous rounds.
We actually haven't seen an overtime in a long time. I'm thinking about it. Yeah,
we haven't seen any overtime, but we've seen teams who get 2 points and have like 3.5 minutes, 4.5 minutes. Of remaining time.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. Like, it's just true. You mentioned overtime. Like, wait a minute, I forgot about overtime almost. These teams have been actually just winning. I mean, hey, good for them. But yeah, I would actually kind of like to see an overtime since it's been so long. It just shows how strong these teams have ended up becoming. Oh, that's kind of the classic little trick right there. The throwing the axe into the air, getting the full team scan. It's such a great way to start off the map. And we see the gun tank woos in the spawn. But here we go, starting off with the push behind the Sazabi as usual.
Gotta have that tank as the forward position, but a lot of damage already. They're not even at that final choke point, and Jay Slay is taking half. He does get healed back up, and it's actually with the Pale Rider pushing forward ahead of the Sazabi, but Jay Slay goes down first. Amano there on the side angle where you want the Pale Rider with his own healing at the ready. He's able to be a one-man army. That grenade doesn't get that knock, but it's still some heavy damage onto the Exia, who has to jump on over, try and go to the back line. Will this be the distraction needed to give an opening for the rest of the attacking team?
It looks like it's going to be a great distraction. Blue Jay almost going down. In fact, the Killing Bros is just going to escape, get the health back, and have a huge health advantage in this fight. Somebody has to do something about this Exia, but currently they decided to just refocus on the waypoint. The charge, though, getting off. That's huge. This is such a tough decision. Killer Umbrellas goes down. Is somebody in here? Yeah, wow, okay, there's actually a Dom is in there to get that immediate disarm. Great stuff from Blue Jay.
You could tell that the comms were there on the side of IQ to not panic and to not leave this position. Everyone is staying around to make sure this waypoint is controlled by the defense. And now Killer Umbrellas was sent back to spawn. Everyone's still respawning here on skill issue, but you're seeing the skill gap is not on their side. It's just incredibly difficult for them to break through this choke point. They're also not using the high ground it seems to push on forward. They're just trying to follow up from behind the Sazabi, but it's just not working.
It can be a tough choke point. I mean, you gotta get through this, but I agree. The high ground right here that they're running to right now is so significant in getting this push. But again, IQ is just so ready to have those comms, just say, okay, somebody's up top, let's focus them, and nobody else pushed along at the same time. So there was just basically a total loss for that little bit of a push, especially now that Jay Slay's down on the Tsuzabi. They might have to regroup.
Killer Umbrellas tries to go in, tries to use a crowbar maneuver, falls away, low HP, but stays alive. That's the important part. Hades activated by Invictus. He needs to go huge with this DPS right now, but the angles aren't exactly there to be revealed. That's because they've been taking out so many members, finally, of IQ. IQ are falling away, and they're not even dying. They're just giving up this site, but Invictus wants to kill them, wants to take them out, because he wants to make this Mega Charge plant that much easier, going immediately onto the B site to get the plant down.
And that looks like that should probably be successful. There were so many on the side of IQ. They're also, of course, threatening A with Killer Umbrellas once again, really playing separate from the team, which does work out in situations like this. But actually, apparently, the B plant didn't go off. I would have loved to know exactly what happened there, but quite a few, again, on IQ going down. There's still a chance we are going to see the plant, and it's going to go down at A.
Okay, yeah, it looks like they've been trying to focus on A. A is easier to hold, even though it's also significantly harder to take. But they're able to find the opening, find a little bit of lapse of hold on IQ's side. But now the funnel's coming in from IQ's Sazabi. Oh, sorry, from from Saris. Now that that's done. Wasn't able to really clear a lot of space, though, because skill issue, they're still here, they're still defending.
Oh, the punch comes out and actually gets 2 knocks, but the knocks will actually be finished. It looks like there's somebody in the background, and this is actually going to potentially be a real hold. This looked like it was going to go completely the way of the defenders, but that one punch from Ashamar was huge.
Exponent's making it work, though. Oh, does get taken out. There's a chance to get away from this, maybe try and reset and get for the defuse, but you're right, we only have a few seconds remaining. 10 seconds left, and Killer Umbrellas is here to make sure that does not happen. Just get to the opponent's back line, stop everything from being a forward fortified push, and it looks like IQ are backing away from this. Quick little heal for Chaotic, but they are falling away to the second site. They had to give the first one up.
That was a really, really important first site to take. It looks like we've seen skill issue really kind of get some momentum going into this, and going from the first site to the second site can be relatively quick. You can see that a lot of them are already here, already getting this waypoint with only Exponent to be able to defend. That might be a pick. Probably not because it's Ashmar, but at the very minimum, they're just going to death ball through this canyon.
Good damage to slow them down just a little bit, but Exponent with his punch at the ready wants to go back into that tunnel for the choke point. Good damage. Oh, you can tell he's wanting to activate this G maneuver.
It's a juicy spot to get it. Oh, yeah, just do it. Just do it. Yes. Oh, that is so many people hit by that. Immediately picked off, but you know what? Worth it just to say you hit that like 4 or 5 man punch. Oh, I mean, maybe not worth it. I know.
It's not worth it. Skill issue are pushing on in, but suddenly there's a Sazabi in the face of Bone Kill. Has to fall away. There's that passive healing that's keeping him alive for now, and he's going to go for the Mega Charge plant. The Mega Charge arm, but Sazabi is there, blue all across the kill feed. The charge did get activated, but it should be defused very, very quickly.
Oh, okay, I agree. The punch was totally not worth it. But you know what? It's a moral victory, and sometimes it's the most important thing. Great defense, though. Great pickup there after the Ashmar was actually picked off along with somebody else. And look at this. X-Men trying to sneak through. Oh, actually, we don't get a chance to see how that turns out, as we are going to see the Exia kind of wrecking havoc once again on the offense, just sneaking around. And with this activated, this might be a kill on X-Men. No, 50 HP, but manages to survive.
Does fall down. But Invictus is trying to trade it out and trying to make it work. The plant happened a second time. The Mega Charge arming happened for a second time. But Amano has the Hades ready of their own. Activates that one, wants to go in and retake the site for a second time. Tries to find the angle, gets the shots, gets the damage. It's going to be Blue Jay on the Dom Trooper for the backup as well. And Chaotix Anaya system. It's blue in the kill feed. It's all falling apart for skill issue. Looks like it's going to be another deep disarm.
Oh, just a little bit of HP left there, and it's actually getting higher just because it is Unicorn, but agreed. This is almost a guaranteed disarm, and it is going to be, and now there's only 30 seconds left. There's one final push, and J-Slay is still down. They do not have very much time at all. Invictus as well gets picked, and they didn't even have the waypoint. Finally retaking it, but with only 24 seconds left. Again, they get maybe one good push, but somebody's going to have to be absent for the push because they have to get on the bomb.
Blue Jay here, putting himself in position, catches the Exia just in time to stop that Mega Charge being armed, and now they have to go for it. They just have to hope that the shots miss. They have to hope that they can tank it out, but it's not going to happen. The clock is not in their favor, and it's going to be IQ taking map number 1, a 2-1 attempt by Skill Issue to get a second charge of their own, but only reaching 65%. IQ take map number 1.
I feel like IQ was really in the zone for the first game, or maybe not in the zone per se, but it was more like Skill Issue didn't find their feet until the second round of that game. It felt like in the first one they were a little bit like they just kind of got run over a few times, but again, it might be just due to the fact that they're adjusting to having just played that previous game not that long ago, and now they're having to readjust to a different type of opponent. But it does seem like, just based on how that second round went, this could end up going to a game 3 in the set. That was looking very close. It was just down to a few crucial, like, frame perfect timings for stop people from planting, for example.
Yeah, and I mean, my concerns about IQ not being warm because of the weight, completely unfounded. They take map number 1. As you say, though, we'll see if Skill Issue can't tie this up and take us to a map number 3, because we go to their map pick. Wow, it's been a long day. We go to their map pick after this break. It's going to be Colony Trading Post.
Cry. Wanna cry.
IQ with the lead, but skill issue on their map pick of Colony Trading Post. Can they tie this up? Can they take us to a map 3, that elusive map 3 that we have yet to see on broadcast? It's happened in the bracket. It hasn't happened live yet. Will that change today?
I think there's a really, really good chance, but of course we are here on Colony Trading Post. It is one of the least explored maps just by the nature of being the newest map, and it does look like we are starting to set up who is playing what on which team. I don't expect that we're going to see anything too wild here as far as changes. Chaotic currently looking to potentially be on the Exia as opposed to the Barbados. That's pretty much the only thing that I could point out, but we've got some pretty standard teams here, so this should just be a pretty straight up brawl.
Yeah, and we already know that Evictus is the star of the show on the Pale Rider for skill issue, especially on this map. And Amano, we've seen how much work he can put on this exact same unit. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a huge head-to-head between these two players this time around. See who can like really get those damage numbers picked on up.
Ooh, look at that tracking. Amano's just showing off a little bit. Even going for the headshots. Yeah, you get less points, but the stream gets to show off. That was sick.
Exactly.
But here we go. Offense on the side of skill issue. So let's see where they decide to go. There's a little bit of a scouting there, I think, from the side of IQ, but probably just going to give up this waypoint, even seeing that so many people ran over there.
Yeah, exactly. The Exia was there just to see where they were going. You don't want to get caught off guard by them holding a trick maneuver and going to meet it. Frerte looking for the angles, trying to get some damage with the Molotov bomb. And now flying overhead, trying to, like, it's really about dealing some chip damage for the rest of the team to capitalize on. But already here on the lower side, pushing on in, keeping them split between the high and the low ground, and see if that can't give an opportunity for the team.
Just being so sneaky. Being able to fly on this map is huge. The verticality of this map is gigantic, especially on the first point. A little bit less so on the second, but still very important. And you can just see the Ashmars flying around. This is a huge brawl, though, with surprisingly not many people going down. Only Fuerte so far. This is not, I think, a great push so far for the side of skill issue. They might want to try to kind of back up and regroup, especially now that Bonekill as well is going down.
Victus actually swung around and found a new opposing angle. Does get isolated, however, and pushed down. And I don't think there's going to be a revive, an easy revive possible, but the rest of skill issue is trying to push in on that a brief momentary distraction, but it doesn't seem to be working. Chaotic is there not just for knocks of his own, but also revives of his teammates. He can do it both.
Ooh, and yeah, just getting rid of the bomb or the mine right there. Just saying, you know what? I don't think we should have to deal with this. A great way to get rid of it. But look at this. They're just holding such a great angle here from the waypoint. Just saying, hey, you know what? You cannot get in from here. You cannot get in from the front angle. Like, kind of making them regret taking that waypoint almost. Eventually, though, it does look like they're going to get on site, and we are going to see Killer and Brothers get Chaotic down in the duel.
Yeah, that's 2 kills for skill issue, and they get the Mega Charge armed. They found an opening, and they seem to have just completely steamrolled over it. IQ needs to come back. Tilcher has the rockets at the ready to at least get the damage in before they push into the Sazabi, and Killer Umbrella activates the Trans Am, swings on in, has the blades at the ready. Heavy damage, but has heavier damage going his way as he does get taken out before he can get a single kill. Chaotic has the Trans Am activated on his own side as the rest of the team follows up behind. Amano here with the Pale Rider damage, trying to get the kills, getting the isolation, forcing everyone away, and there's enough time to get the disarm, but they need to get on to the point.
Oh yeah, not much, but there's the disarm. It looks like it's gonna fully go through, and a great retake with not many opportunities left after that. That was probably gonna have to be it. So it all came down to that one single fight. Now an attempt to repush from skill issue, and this is not gonna be easy. They're already getting picked. They had so many players in place for just trying to protect that first plant that they just didn't get a chance to retreat after they lost it. And now, because of that, there's only 1 minute 15 left on the clock.
Yeah, a lot of G maneuver usage even after they had disarmed that plant on the side of IQ. That's because they just wanted to make sure that they could kick skill issue while they were down.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, you got to. Sometimes you got to kick teams when they're down. Just getting that stagger is gigantic. Getting that free charge on your G maneuver, that can be everything. G maneuver management is just such a huge portion of this game. And right now, you can see on the side of IQ, there's one. On the side of skill issue, almost one with that potential Dom G maneuver.
It was a bug, because I really do think that Jay Slay has it at the ready. He's actually going to be activating it, I think, as the funnels. You can hear them popping off, but there's a lot of damage popping off, a lot of shots popping off, and Invictus and Frerte, they're getting the kills. So it's the DPS on the side of skill issue, trying to find that opening, but they need to get that Mega Charge armed. There's only 20 seconds left. But Fairchild is isolating the opposing Ashamar. Exponent goes down. It was in a position to get revived, but Fairchild is there to make sure that does not happen because he wants to keep the defenders pinned into their spawn while his team controls the point.
Ooh, and look at this. It goes down. They have all the positioning in the world. Skill issue, it just needs to take advantage. I mean, they literally don't have any more opportunities to take advantage of this, but they have the exact positioning that you want. Woo! Getting the jumping, kind of floating shot from that Unicorn G maneuver. That was a really cool little angle. So there's definitely been some practice on this level, but there's still plenty of time for the disarm. Ooh, nice out of the air.
Oh, got him right before he hit the med pack as well. Unfortunate, but Bonekel is here to defend the point. 20 seconds left. IQ need to try and get the Mega Charge disarmed. Invictus is here, though, to continue to defend it as well as the Dom Trooper, but that's a lot of units for him to shoot at. But it does get disarmed anyway. The damage was there, but the timing was not. And it's going to be a 0-point round for skill issue. Solid attempts, but it just was not fast enough.
That last moment was it was the perfect angle, it was the perfect shot, but there was just so many people in the way. It was just literal body blocking. If there was like one less person in the way right there, that could have been the complete stop on the disarm and then move to the next point, and that was all they needed. But that was a great coordination of body blocking. Very, very self-sacrificial.
Yeah, and if you look at the damage charts here, it's unsurprisingly the Pale Rider and the Ashamar from the two teams in that order with top and second most damage, but it's leaning IQ's way for both of those units. And now that they're on the attacking side, if they get a single Mega Charge explosion, they win this match. So skill issue need to hold with an iron grip.
Yeah, or honestly, even slightly less than that. This is a very tough spot to have to hold this because, again, you know, we mentioned this before when it was the previous time on this map. This is a map where you can be attacked from two different directions at the same time, and you really have to split your focus if the other team is coordinating their pushes from different areas correctly. So against a team like IQ that has been just showing extreme strength over the past few games, this is going to be very, very difficult. The defense on the first points can be tough.
Pushing towards the waypoint, a little bit of initial resistance to try and deal some chip damage from Frerte on the Ashamar. But the waypoint's going to be taken pretty quickly. Quite aggressive positioning on the defense, and Jay is actually able to do some good damage to the opposing Saris before he falls away with Exponent there with the high ground. This is good stalling momentarily, and skill issue aren't really giving anything up despite how aggressive their initial positioning was. Oh! But the push is gonna now continue in across that bridge, and the fire is gonna be there to burn them to pieces.
That axe hitting the enemy's Sosby was huge, shutting down the shield, getting so much damage, allowing the flame grenade to finish it off. That was a beautiful play. Looks like IQ is, oh, wait a minute, Chaotic getting a sneaky pick on in the background. This could be a sneaky little plant if teams can't get back in time, and it looks like it's going to, but there's not many people here to defend it on the side of IQ.
Chaotic is here. They tried to go immediately for the disarm, but Chaotic with the movement and the dashes kept it. So it's going to be incredibly complicated for skill issue to come back into this one because the timings of when these deaths occurred for skill issue are very, very unfortunate to try and come back into this one. Fairchase going to try and make something work, finds a nice angle, but needs to land a lot more shots, only gets one knock before he gets traded in the end, and the revives are coming in for IQ. This might be a very, very quick round two.
Chaotic is an MVP play right there. They just need to hold on a little bit longer. It doesn't even need to fully explode. Just a few more seconds. This is the final push here potentially for Skill Issue. Oh, Killer Buzz tries to sneak disarm, but it's not going to be enough. And IQ will take the second map and the set and set themselves up as our second team in the winners finals taking place tomorrow.
Made it a very, very quick round at the end of things. Skill Issue, they looked good. But IQ, they just look that much better. And we look at the Yamano, we look at the Pale Rider, and then, of course, the Ashmar as well. And they look really good, but it's just the team across the board know how to play off of the strength of their ranged DPS and set them up for success, which then sets the whole squad up for success.
Yeah, I mean, both teams were so strong at different points in throughout this entire match. This was, again, it was 2-0, but it was a very close 2-0 in my opinion. And I'm glad that, of course, this is a winners bracket match, winners semis. So we are going to be seeing Skill Issue move down to the losers bracket pretty far in. There's a pretty high chance that we'll at least see them one more time at the very minimum, if not back in the top 3. So two of our teams that are huge threats, they've given us a for sure a show to remember in this match.
Yeah, talking about huge threats though, IQ winning this match, they go on into the winners bracket final to play Mafty Did Nothing Wrong. So like that's the biggest threat that we have in this entire bracket. That's going to be an amazing match to watch. I don't think we're going to be getting that, however, until tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. So IQ, they're done for the day. They can rest. And they can, maybe look over some VODs and over some strategies. I'm not entirely sure the resources that they have. We do have a couple more matches coming up for us, however, looking into the losers bracket to see who's going to be advancing into the losers quarter, who's going to advance into the losers semi and the losers final. We have to go to a break before we get to that point, however. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.